Welcome to episode 2 of the Imperium Podcast. Today I have the fortune of being joined by Aiden Clowes. Now, Aiden Clowes competed back in 2017 in the junior category, UK DFBA Federation. He showcased a very impressive physique. Not only that, currently Aiden is studying fitness and personal training at Solent University. So today me and Aiden will be discussing whether or not personal trainers are being educated enough. Given Aiden's academic history, I think he's the perfect guy for the job. So, let's get right to it. Tell us a bit about yourself, Aiden. What are you doing at university?
Yeah, thank you for them kind words, mate. So,
No worries, man.
I'm 21, bodybuilder, as you said, competed in 2017. Decided 3 years ago that I was going to go to university to study a BA honours in fitness and personal training. And since then, I've not looked back. It's a very extensive course, and I'm in my final year, but I'm enjoying it. It's hard work, but it's done me good, I think.
That's good. So, what made you choose that course over the bog standard personal training course?
Well, to be honest, at the time of deciding going to university, we went to the same college. It was something that the college that we went to, Newcastle on the Line, they pushed us to do UCAS applications. University wasn't something that was originally on my mind. I was going to go into the RAF or the Navy. Went to the recruitment office, spoke to them. I was still having surgeries at the time, so they said, because you're still having operations, we won't be able to recruit you. And the jobs that they were offering, even after my treatments, weren't something that I was necessarily interested in.
Yeah.
And someone told me about a fitness and personal training course down at Southampton, and I thought, fitness and personal training degree, like, wow, I did not expect that whatsoever. I had a look into it. It looked really interesting, and I thought, well, I got nothing better to do. Let's go give that a shot. And I thought, there's people were saying to me, oh, why don't you just go do a 30-day course, pay a couple of grand, save yourself a lot of money, save yourself a lot of time. But the way I saw it was, well, one, I'm getting a degree out of this, and two, what can I learn in 30 days that they're going to teach me in years?
Exactly. I think that's quite a good viewpoint that you had there, because just in comparison to myself, we were choosing the same. We were choosing personal training courses at the same time.
Yeah.
And I went down to the college route, and you went down to the university route. Now, I think a lot of people would have done initially what I did, because you could have got your qualification quicker, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a better qualification or you're going to have the same amount of knowledge.
No, that's exactly it, mate. It's the convenience of it more than anything. People want to get out there and get working, and if someone said, oh, well, you can get your degree, well, not your degree, your qualification in 30 days, then instead of 3 years, what are you tempted to do? More?
Exactly, yeah. I remember a lot of people saying sort of, how come you're going to university when, you could just do a course? And I'm thinking, from what you've told me of the course, I can completely understand why. It sounds a lot more comprehensive.
Yeah, it's an investment. It truly is a very extensive course. I mean, I'll go through some of the topics that we cover. So we've got health, fitness, program design, so your basic program design, functional anatomy and corrective exercise, rehabilitation, nutrition, physiology, advanced training principles, sports massage, study skills and research methods, so finding all your scientific research, psychology, behaviour change, exercise referral, clinical exercise programming, cancer rehab, biomechanics, professional practice and personal training, strength and conditioning, sports conditioning, and those are the ones that I've covered so far. From that, I've gained a few qualifications. So obviously I've got my personal training qualifications. They're all reps level 2 and level 3. Older Adults Award, Referral Patient and Client Award, so I can train people with health conditions who have been referred from hospital. And I'm now working towards my level 4 reps cancer rehab and strength and conditioning award this year.
Well, mate, that sounds incredible. That sounds a lot better than a lot more. It covers a lot more stuff than you do in your standard PT course. So is that where you gain most of your knowledge from?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, you learn a lot from, you know, your own experiences going in the gym and your more anecdotal stuff. But in terms of like multidisciplinaries, so PT is not just one aspect. It's not just training people in the gym. You know, it's all the things that come with it. And the good thing about the course, I mean, you can hear from me just reading out the list just then, is you name it and you've probably covered it within your 3 years, and you've covered it to a good degree. You know, it's a university level. You're being taught by lecturers with PhDs, you know, people who are doing research within the industry, who are massive, you know, globally, really. And I get to see these people day in, day out on a weekly basis.
Yeah, it sounds great, mate. So I'm guessing this brings us to the heart of discussion.
Yeah.
Do you think personal trainers are being educated enough? The general personal trainer?
Probably not. I mean, really, when you think about it, 30 days, can you really be taught a lot? I think a lot of it is you're being told how to pass an exam. You know, you're paying money to go off and do this course.
Yeah.
So it's their responsibility for them to teach you how to pass the assessment that you need to do. But other than maybe a little bit of nutrition that I can imagine that they do within these courses, and showing you how to use bits of equipment and how to perform your generic lifts, that if anyone who's been going to the gym for a certain amount of time would probably know anyway, I can't see you learning a lot more than that, really.
No. I completely agree. Being someone who's, it's not even 30-day courses. I've got to say, being someone who was on a 2-year course.
Yeah.
I found the information that I was being taught. I'm not going to name the course or anything like that, but it was appalling. Really, the information. I had lecturers sort of asking me for advice on nutrition and things like that, and that's the level it was at. And I know a lot of personal trainers, and they've done these 2-year courses and similar courses to that, and I've had to teach them basic principles of how to squat, or basic things like supersets. These things should be covered. If they don't know things such as that, who else knows what they don't know?
Yeah, exactly. I do think it's something that needs improving. Because, like you say, it's so easy for people to just say, "Oh, I'll look at this course." I mean, maybe the 2-year one that you did was probably not necessarily what I'm talking about within. I'm talking strictly more the courses that you go off and pay, and it's like a few week thing. But it's so easy to get into the industry. You know, anyone can do it, and it doesn't take an awful lot of work, if you ask me. And I think it's wrong, because when you look at what a personal training is, it's a luxury for most people. You know, it's not an affordable thing. It's a lot of money to invest in yourself, and when you're doing that, you want the person who's training you to, you know, have all the knowledge that they require. You're dealing with people's lives. You know, you could see one, and they may never recover from that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the standard. So when I was doing my assessment, this is how pupils in my class were taught. The assessment was you had to do cardio. So you had to do a form of cardio to warm up with.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes. You had to do a form of cardio, just for cardio, which is 20 minutes. You had a small section for resistance training. Then you did further cardio to warm down. So for an hour's PT, I think it worked out to about 40 minutes cardio.
Yeah.
And that's how personal trainers were being taught. And it was literally, in my opinion, if you're having a personal training session of a personal trainer and they just stick you on a treadmill and they just stand by you and don't do anything.
Oh, 100%.
I think that's appalling. I really do.
You're paying for a babysitter. You're paying for a babysitter.
Exactly, yeah. Just go do 20 minutes on a treadmill.
Yeah, you don't need someone to come and stand by you whilst you jog on a treadmill.
No. I believe that a personal training session, what you should be able to get out of it is you should have some take-homes, and you should be able to, have your form corrected, have a bit of motivation there, be taught different exercises, how to execute them, the reasoning behind them, and that's just amongst a list of many other things that you should be learning from a personal trainer. You should be gaining from those sessions.
Yeah.
So what is your opinion on the 6 weeks courses? Do you think they should be a thing?
No, not really. I think the industry is highly saturated. It seems like a very easy thing to get into, and I think a lot of people get into it for the wrong reasons, because they might enjoy the gym and they're just like, oh, well, I enjoy the gym. I'm fed up with my current job. I know, let's go do personal training. I think I'll enjoy it. And I don't think they're educated enough to be going into that industry. It's okay to take someone through a session or two, and people will pay you to do that, but you're not necessarily, you're not investing enough into it. And going forward, I don't know, it's a weird one, because I'm sort of going off track.
Go for it.
I don't know, mate. I honestly, it baffles me to think that someone can actually just go off and go and do, a 6-week course and be a qualified person.
Yeah, be a health professional.
Yeah.
It seems to me like it's just you're being taught the anatomy of things, more so than the practical side of things. You know the terminology of a lot of stuff, but to be an effective personal trainer, like the stuff that you're covering, you're able to train with the special population. You're able to it focuses on forms, it focuses on structure, it focuses on nutrition heavily. It just focuses on a lot of stuff, and this is additional stuff that you don't get in your standard personal training course.
Yeah, and it's one thing, learning a bit about the anatomy, but it's knowing how to apply that in practice and how all that works. Anyone can do a multiple choice exam and learn how to pass a multiple choice exam in 6 weeks by learning the questions. But that doesn't mean you now know what those muscle groups do, or how they work, or how they perform in the gym, and what areas affect certain people's movement patterns, and how problems can occur at one place in the body which affects another place in the body, which is why an individual might be restricted because they've got a dysfunction within the squat pattern. They have dysfunction, they've got tight calves, or something going on at the lumbar spine, they can't get thoracic extension.
Yeah.
You're never going to be taught all that within
absolutely
6 weeks.
not. Absolutely
you might be told about it, but it's one thing someone saying something to you, it's another thing knowing how to go off and correct that and deal with that and go about doing that. And I think that shows within a lot of the gyms, the commercial gyms especially, where they get a lot of these people who've just done these courses across the country, where that shows, because you'll see them training with clients, and instead of spending time working on a certain movement, on a squat, they'll see that the client perhaps can't perform it very well. Instead of stopping them, telling them that they can't perform it very well and telling them why and looking at the reasons that might be causing that, they're so quick to just move them on to a different exercise instead of investing at the issues. And the thing is, it's easy to hide these problems. It's so easy to hide them by, they can't do it with a free weight, they can't do it with a barbell, so I'll just go stick them on a leg press. Not much movements involved there. I'll just sit them there. All they've got to do is press the plate forward. They're gonna get the same out of it, but it's just that easy to hide, and I think you find that a lot, from my experience anyway.
Yeah, I think the main thing as well with this is it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Yeah. Like I've seen plenty of personal trainers where they're putting the client in danger, and clients don't know any better. That's the reason why they've got a personal trainer in the first place, and they're being overcharged, and they've been put in danger. I mean, I've seen some terrible examples of poor form being executed in some exercises. I don't know about yourself. I don't know if you've seen any.
100%. I think you see it all the time, and it comes down to, I think the problem is a lot of PTs, they're so focused on a goal, and as a personal trainer, it's important to focus on a goal. You want your client to achieve the outcomes that they want to reach, but at the same time, you want to improve their lifestyle. You want to make them healthier, perform better where they can. Whereas a lot of PTs are just so driven, they're so focused on, they want to achieve this, so what's the way I can go about doing that in the shortest and the quickest way possible? And as a result, they potentially jeopardize the client's health as a result of that, because they're not spending time in the areas that perhaps need working on first. It's no good building upon dysfunction, because you're creating further dysfunction, or you're creating possible injuries, which are then putting people further back from where they were trying to get, and they're paying you good money for this.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you think with the ease of gaining the qualification, do you think that is a reason for the saturation in the market?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you said to a lot of the people right now that the only way you could become a fitness and personal trainer is if you had to go to university and you had to go do a 3-year degree, I think a lot of them would turn around and go, well,
I agree.
It's a massive investment. It takes a lot of your time. But if you're serious about wanting to help other people and getting in this industry, it's 100% worthwhile. I don't regret it one bit. The opportunities that I've had whilst being on the course, the work experience where I've been able to work with clients, and like I say, I've been able to work with special populations and actually make a significant difference with their lives. It's a massive.
I think when you're doing a 6-week course, the likelihood of you being a good PT is pretty much down to the individual if you complete that 6-week course. But if you're doing a degree, the likelihood of being a bad PT is very unlikely.
Yeah, I think if we were going, like I say, it all comes down to self-investment. What you put in, you're going to get out. So if you're going away and you do a 6-week course, but then after that, you non-stop learning, you're non-stop educating yourself, you're always trying to become better, chances are you're probably going to be a good PT.
Yeah, so
you could go to university for 3 years, completely mess around, go to the lessons, and it doesn't necessarily guarantee you're going to be a good personal trainer. It all comes down to what you put into it. Yeah. But I do think if you're going to do a 6-week course, then maybe there should be an annual follow-up where you have to go and meet someone and they double check whether what you're doing is appropriate.
Yeah. recommendations for someone someone looking to be a potential personal trainer, or someone who's recently turned into a personal trainer?
Just like say self-investment. Go off, read. Get some books. There's some great ones out there. You've got your muscle and strength pyramids, essentials of strength and conditioning. Go read some research journals. You can access them on Google Scholar. Go follow people like yourself on Instagram. Get your anecdotal evidence as well. But also be critical. Just because you've read something in a research journal or somebody said something on Instagram, don't take everything at face value. Go away and question the things.
Absolutely, yeah.
Look into it and say, well, actually, are they correct in what they're saying? Or
yeah.
You can't just read everything and go, oh, well, I've read this one piece of research, so that means it must be true.
Yeah, absolutely. I think self investment is so important. I think as soon as you've course ends as a personal trainer, that isn't necessarily when the learning ends for yourself. I think the subject itself is so vast, it's so big. You can just continually learn. You can learn something new every day, every single day. You can keep watching podcasts. There's so much information out there for you to learn.
And it's forever expanding,
So yeah.
The industry at the moment, it's forever expanding. There's always new research coming out that says, a whole new principle that someone hasn't looked at before. You can always learn new things.
Yeah, especially. I think it's just worth probably doing some voluntary just. And shadowing other PTs, having a look what good PTs are doing, and taking inspiration from that. Because I've met some personal trainers who've just finished their course, and they've literally turned to me and said, I've done that course and I don't know how to personal train.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to experience, and some of my biggest problems when you see people training in the gym and personal trainers training clients is, I think there's a lack of motivation in a lot of them. A lot of them don't very motivated. They'll be standing by the clients and they'll be playing on the phone, or like you say,
it's terrible.
He puts you on a treadmill, sack them. It's a waste of your money. It's a waste of your time.
Yeah.
There's not a professionalism there. They've got the hands in the pockets. I can't remember the last time I saw a PT, come and greet the client at the door, take them through the session, then after the session, walk them out of the gym, say goodbye. A lot of the time, when was the last time you saw a PT with a clipboard and a session plan that they've wrote down beforehand, or writing stuff down that the client's doing and actually tracking their progression? Simple things that I don't think you see enough of when you in the industry currently. There's always going to be individuals that are an exception to that. That's not to say all of them are like that, but from my experience, from when I've been in the gym, I train at the gym in Southampton at the moment, and not to sort of shit on the personal trainers that are there, but I can't remember the last time I saw one with a clipboard writing down what their client was doing, making notes throughout the session. I really can't, and that's such a simple thing that's going to give the client so much more, because it means come the next session, you've got everything wrote down, and you can say, oh, we did this last session, and you noticed this, and oh, we're going to progress it to this week, and you didn't like this, or you had a postural issue there, and it's just so simple.
Yeah, I think if you're getting into this type of work, I think it's important to know that you shouldn't really be getting into it for the money.
No.
It should be something you have a passion for or enjoy, because it shows in the work.
Yeah.
It really does show in the quality of personal training. It's a good point that you've raised. It is an issue where you see a lot of personal trainers just on the phone, and they get paid for this a lot of money. Even bog standard price of a personal trainer is around about £20 to £25. Even that's for someone. £25 an hour it's very expensive. It's a lot of money to pay if you're just on your phone.
And let's be honest, £25 an hour, that's probably quite a cheap rate for a personal trainer. If you go to places like Manchester or London, people will be charging way up to £50 an hour. Do that a couple of times a week, that's £100 a week. What are you giving your client that's worth them giving you £100 a week? If you're just coming in, winging it, you haven't got a session plan wrote down, you're not recording things, you're not giving them positive reinforcement. It's no good just telling people, don't lock out your elbows, just correcting certain things when they're doing something wrong. You need to be giving them positive reinforcement when they are doing something well. So, that's great, you're bracing your core, your feet are planted, you're not locking out of the elbows, chest is nice and high, you've got a neutral spine. Constantly giving them something throughout the session. You're not on your phone, you're being professional, you're not, even if stuff like timing, you're timing someone. Don't time it on your phone. You're a PT, go out, spend £5, get a stopwatch.
Absolutely.
Little things.
Do you think commercial gyms, do they add to the
That's a difficult one. I'm not.
It is, because the reason why I'm asking this is because a lot of commercial gyms, they do offer these courses, these 6-week courses, and say there's a job at the end of it, and they actually pay the personal trainers. They take a large cut of the money that they get from the client, and the personal trainers get something like £5 a client or whatever. So it's literally numbers, seeing the clients as numbers rather than the quality. It's quantity rather than quality. Yeah. From what I've known from other people working in the commercial gyms, I've seen that happen from what I've been told.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose so, but then, to be honest, I've been to, you go to smaller local gyms or like private gyms, and you see the same stuff. You know? And I'm not naming any gyms in particular, but I've seen PTs who they're athletes themselves, whether that be bodybuilding athletes or powerlifting athletes or whatever, and they probably know better, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they PT better. It's very common that you'll see them. They'll be sat down on a bench whilst they're watching the client perform an exercise. What are you sitting down for? We're supposed to be promoting healthier lifestyles. People spend the majority of the day sat on their arses, and you're PTing a client sat down. Stand up.
I've seen people where they're recording the client. Yeah, one more, mate. Yeah, let's go. And I swear, showing that I've seen on the Instagram, the form's dog shit. It's like, put your phone down. Yeah. Focus on actually coach the client.
Coaching them.
Actually personal training the client. Rather than trying to get more clients on top of that. Focus on the one that you've got.
And some people, it's a lack of education, it's a lack of experience. They're not confident enough to correct form. Like I say, it's just easier to move them on to a different piece of equipment or let them do the exercise, with half decent form. With others, it's just pure laziness, pure idleness that they don't do it, because I can guarantee a lot of them probably do know a lot better. But like I say, it'd take time out of their session, time out of their day to start correcting things. And I think a lot of it's people sometimes get afraid as well that a client will stop wanting to come to you. So if, you know, for example, you came to me for a personal training session, you're a bodybuilder, you know, you want to be training hard, and I turn around to you and say, okay, well, you've got a bit of dysfunction, you know, in this movement. So we're going to spend couple of weeks working on corrective exercises. I want you to go home and do these corrective exercises. And then at the start of your session, we're going to spend 5 or 10 minutes working on these corrective exercises before we get into any of your major lifts or, you know, the actual session. And I think a lot of it, people think, well, athletes aren't going to want to do that. People aren't going to want to do that because they haven't come to you for that. But as long as you're explaining it well and you're telling them why they're going to benefit from it, I think people would get on board with that, because at the end of the day, the goal is more long term. We're looking at longevity. It's not about just what we can get in the here and now. We need to focus on, well, can this person carry on doing this 10 years, 20 years down the line?
Absolutely, mate. I absolutely agree with that. And I think that just about summarises the end of the discussion. Made some very valid points there. Just finishing off, where can people follow you? Where are you most active on social media?
So I've got a lot of exciting things coming up. The aim, obviously, at the moment is to finish my degree and graduate, but I've not got long of that left now. I'm doing a dissertation currently. So any natural bodybuilders who are listening, if you want to get on board on this, so the inclusion is you must have done 2 or more shows, you must be 18 or over, and what we're looking at is, in the health domain, in the general population, a lot of evidence has shown behaviour techniques, volitional techniques such as action planning and coping plans, and self-regulation to improve individuals' adherence to physical activity and dietary behaviours. And what I want to look at is what behaviour patterns and techniques are natural bodybuilders using on their pursuit to the stage. So as we know, when you're competing, you know, you're dieting to an extreme level, you're training really hard, you know, you could be doing cardio every day of the week, training sessions on top of that. It takes a lot of discipline, and what I want to know is, just through a couple of interviews, around 30 to 45 minutes, what sort of techniques they use to achieve basically getting onto the stage and keeping up those rates of adherence throughout the process. So if you're interested in that, you can contact me on my Instagram page. It's Aiden_Clowes, or on Facebook, it's just Aiden Clowes. Or alternatively, you can email me at my university email, which I won't say it now, but I'll give you a link which you can put in the description, Jack. But other than that, I'm going to try and be a bit more active on my Instagram, posting some stories and my training processes on there as I get ready to get on stage in 2020.
Awesome, mate. That's the one. 2020, here we come. So thank you for that, Aiden. You've been great. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Imperium Podcast. If you did enjoy it and you did like the video, please like, comment and subscribe to see future podcasts. Thank you very much. I'll catch you next time. See ya.